Hi, hey, and all those other greetings, Spade Adventurers. I'm Jake Spins, welcoming you guys back to my gaming and unboxing channel, where today we're not going to be doing any gaming stuff or unboxing stuff. Instead, we're actually going to be doing some speculating. Now, this is something that I never really do, except for a few videos here and there in Smash Ultimate, where we ended up speculating what Echo Fighters there would be, which, by the way, I was one of the first people to do that, if not the first. Sorry, just saying. And we went over what Shadow the Hedgehog's moveset would be had he been in Smash before he became an assist trophy. But you never know, it's Sakurai. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're actually here to talk about, believe it or not, Mario Kart Tour. Now, before I get into what we're exactly speculating, I do want to say that when the game first launched, if you saw my video on that, the first episode of the playthrough, you guys would probably see I was very upset. I was very skeptical. I wasn't screaming my head off. I wasn't raging. But it was definitely something that afterwards I was not pleased. Now, that being said, it's been 2 weeks since the game's been out, and I was wrong. That's right, I am admitting that I was wrong. Not 100% wrong, because there are still a few things that I'm not a fan of, but it is a gacha game. That being said, though, after playing it for 2 weeks, I got addicted. Whether it's because it's Mario Kart or because it's actually a good game, I still don't really know yet, but I'm having a lot of fun, and every morning, I cannot wait to wake up and see what I can get, see what I can play in the day, and it's cool. Like, even on the days where there was no new content for a full week, I still woke up and opened up Mario Kart Tour excited to play it, and I'd spend like 2 hours playing it. So, there's a good time there if you guys give it a chance. But anyway, though, today we are going to talk about my top 5, in no particular order, characters that I think could make it inside Mario Kart Tour. Now, of course, this is saying that this isn't like my top 5 most wants, but top 5 characters that I think could have potential, could be in. And this is just speculation. There is no proof that these guys will ever be in, but it's just what I'm thinking and something that I think is cool. So we're going to start from 5 down to 1. Again, no particular order. But the first character I have listed down is Captain Falcon. Now, I'm sure you guys know Captain Falcon, the F-Zero series, has quite a rich history with Mario Kart. Heck, Mario Kart exists because of F-Zero. And this is coming from somebody who has never played an F-Zero game. But I feel like by this point, Captain Falcon should have already been in Mario Kart. And the big reason is because Mario Kart Wii, this is when it started it. They added the Blue Falcon. You know, good reference. That's cool on you. Alright, so you go a little further into Mario Kart's history, still have the Blue Falcon, and then you get to Mario Kart 8. They add not 1, but 2 DLC F-Zero tracks to the game, as well as re-adding the Blue Falcon. Where's Captain Falcon? I don't get it. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever to me that Captain Falcon is still not in this game. And again, this is coming from somebody who's not a Smash Brothers Captain Falcon main, never played an F-Zero game. It boggles my mind. So, of course, I didn't really go over this, but we're actually going to go over things of kart combinations, tracks, whatever that I think could potentially be inside of the game with these characters. Captain Falcon, pretty simple. You know, he's going to have the Blue Falcon. I'm sure he'd have some type of a glider. And they might not even add gliders for them, but we already know Big Blue and Mute City would be the tracks that could potentially be added. And heck, they might make another F-Zero track for Mario Kart Tour. Who knows? And what I think Captain Falcon's special would be is the dash ring. Now, this is something that was actually newly integrated inside of the Tokyo Tour, being with Rosalina and Ludwig. I'm not sure if it's with anybody else, but essentially it just makes these Mario Galaxy type of rings appear in front of the character, and opponents can go through them if you're not careful. Just gives you a little bit of boost, and honestly, I feel like that's just perfect for Captain Falcon, which has a series that you're just zooming along as fast as possible and trying to crash into cars to make them just disappear so that you can try to win the race. It just seems so obvious. Okay guys, so the next character that I put down is Kirby. Yes, that is right, I dare to put Kirby. Now, one big reason is because we all thought that it was so confirmed for Kirby to be in Mario Kart 8. Because when Rosalina was first introduced into Smash Bros., they had this whole Rainbow Road type of trailer, and Kirby rushing into space. Kirby crashes onto Rainbow Road and has this really adorable moment with Rosalina and her Luma. It's just super cute. The Luma and Kirby are just dancing around together. And honestly, it would just work. Kirby is so iconic and is such a good friend of Mario. Not to mention, a lot of these characters that I'm going to mention have cars or vehicles that would fit so well in this game. Just put a warp star, wheels on a warp star, maybe put a dome or something, and boom, there you go. You got Kirby's car. Granted, I don't know what type of glider they would do, but I'm sure they'd figure some type of thing out. You know, maybe you'd have like a Gordo glider, or you'd have, you know, just a round Kirby as the glider. Like no arms, no legs, just Kirby's face. I mean, it would be relatively simple. For tracks, though, I'm honestly not sure. You could do a lot of stuff because Kirby has a lot of rich history, being in Dreamland, Kirby 64. You've got, right, that's a thing, Kirby 64. So if I'm making anybody angry, but you've got so many different locations inside of Kirby, and heck, you could do just a Galaxy stage, or just port in Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road, and boom, there you go. You got a stage for Kirby, and it's not even toting around Kirby. But they definitely figure something out. Now, that being said, though, my iPod actually just died. Alright, that being said, though, here's what I believe... Oh my god, phone, stop it! It's like, connect your email. I'm like, no, I'm trying to read what Kirby's special will be. And I just have this here for good old Cliff Notes. But basically, I believe that Kirby would get some type of an item that would be like his inhale. So the icon would be a wind vortex, and you'd get the item in somewhere 8th to 4th place. And this would be used to actually draw in racers closer to you. So let's say you're having a bit of a tough time, you're far in the back, you just got hit by a ton of items, and it's like, I need to catch up. So Kirby just opens his mouth up wide, starts blowing in air, you're going same speed, but you're starting to slow people down. Now, the closer they are to you, the slower they will go, and they're not going to start going backwards, because I feel like that would be a bit broken, but definitely slowing them down, I feel, is possible, especially with the whole auto acceleration. And that would give you a little bit of a chance to catch up. As well, if you get an opponent that you suck in fully, instead of it straight up going and copying an ability, it would act as a hurt box. For Kirby would act as an item himself, hurt the actual opponents in front of you, and make them just fly over him. You know, is this exactly what the whole entire thing would be for Kirby? Maybe not, but I feel like it would be a pretty cool idea, and it kind of fits him. You gotta admit. Alright, so this next one, not gonna lie, I struggled with this one. I went between two different characters that I felt could be very potential, actually three, that just made a lot of sense to me. More space characters, because Nintendo loves their space characters. But I felt like something stood out for one of these characters. Okay. I think it's possible for Samus Aran to make it in Mario Kart. Now, whoa. Before you click on off the video or start yelling at me in the comments being like, why would they add Samus of all characters? Especially with Metroid Prime 4 being super gritty and the style really doesn't clash, and sure, she's in Smash Brothers, but why would they add Samus instead of somebody else like Fox or any other character? Well, my main reason of thinking this is possibly because of Metroid Prime 4. Now, I know it's crazy, but I have this feeling, this gut feeling, that Nintendo wants to play smart here. They're going to say, hey, here's a new game. You guys are excited for it. How are we going to hype you up? Well, we have this free Mario Kart game on mobile that there's going to be a lot of people that play, a lot of Nintendo fans, a lot of non-Nintendo fans. And if you put in a tie-in character, like let's say Kirby ends up having a new game, or for instance, Link, you put that character in right before the game launches or in that week, so that as people are playing it, they're thinking about that character. They're thinking about that franchise as it's going, and they're playing as Samus in Mario Kart Tour. They're going to go, oh my gosh, this is a Metroid Prime 4 event. Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this week. Granted, while the development was delayed and it is super unlikely that this would actually happen, I feel like this is more so just an item of this specific idea. And Samus just kind of fit the mold for me because I knew that she had a game that was coming out soon. And it would make a lot of sense for Nintendo. And later in an honorable mention, I'll explain even more why I'm thinking that. Alright, so what would Samus's vehicle be? Well, she's got a spaceship. I mean, just put wheels on the thing. Boom. Who wouldn't want to play inside of that car? Samus's ship as a cart would look wicked awesome. And who wouldn't want to see Toadette driving it, you know? Or Baby Peach. Just the hilarity of something so serious, something that takes down such big threats, being driven by a baby. It would just be amazing, and it's something that Blue Falcon, again, really worked so nice in, because you could see characters that shouldn't be in that car driving that car, and it would look great. Now, Glider, again, I'm stuck at a loss because I just don't really know exactly what they would do with this. They'd probably just make, like, an enemy Metroid glider, or some kind of, like, logo on, like, a triangle glider for her. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, then let me know, but I'm sure they do something like that for her. And for stage, they would probably do something like the Metroid's Home Planet, or something like darker or gritty. If they didn't want to make a new stage, I guess adding Grumble Volcano would probably be one of the closest you could probably get. Again, I don't play a lot of Metroid, so I apologize for that, for not really knowing and having any specific good ideas. But hey, I think it could happen. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what tracks they would do. But one thing I did think about, very highly about, is the special. I believe for Samus, she would have a unique special being the laser cannon. Granted, like Kirby, other characters couldn't adapt it and use it, so I don't know if they would end up actually doing this because they could only use it once, maybe twice, depending on the characters they bring in. But I believe that she'd have some kind of a laser cannon. And this would work very unique because it would be kind of like a mix of a green shell and a red shell. In the fact that you tap it and it would fire, but it wouldn't bounce on the wall, it would just break on the wall. But what makes it special is that if you want a bigger shot, you can hold it down and charge it down, have a bigger hitbox, and instead of having them do like a little tiny spin out animation, you'd like blow them to Kingdom Come. They'd go flying in the air, and you just see plasma going all over the place as you're driving past, and trust me, that would feel so good. But the high risk, high reward would be the fact that as you're trying to hold it, you have to also figure out driving. And there's a lot of courses that don't have straightaways, that just have a bunch of curves, so you got to figure out, do I want to take my shot now while I'm on this one straightaway and they're right in front of me, I can do a little tiny zap, or do I want to risk it all, hold it down, and just destroy somebody with it? I feel like there's so much property that could go into this special and how well it could work, even though it's just basically at heart a general green shell that just breaks on a wall. Alright, so if you guys thought I was crazy before, here we go. So, while this one is a lot less likely because of a certain tour that's coming out at the end of the month for October, I think that there is a slight potential, and I wanted to put this in for shock factor, but also because this is my speculation, this is my dreams, and I would just love it so much. Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, again, I said, you've got that whole tie-in game stuff, and why they didn't do the Tokyo tour as Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo Olympics was going to be releasing, that seems like kind of a loss to me. So this kind of negates the possibility and makes it a lot less likely. But if by some slim chance they were gonna do some kind of a tie-in game with Mario and Sonic at the Olympics to promote it, even though yes, it is made by Sega, I feel like a potential great way to promote that would be to have Sonic and Mario Kart. And yes, I do just want to talk about Sonic and Mario Kart. So, you already got a built-in car for Sonic. Granted, yes, you could go a lot older and do something like Sonic Drift cars. Or, I'd say Sonic R cars, but Sonic didn't have a car in Sonic R. But I feel like Sonic and All-Star Racing car, or Team Sonic Racing's base car, is perfect. Honestly, if Sonic was to have a car, a staple canon car, it would be that car. And again, I know that there's this huge argument of why does Sonic need a car, and I get it, I hear ya, but he's got a car. You gotta live with it. It's here, it's happened, and it looks cool. You gotta admit, it looks really cool. Now, if you weren't to do that, what other car would you do? Well, the Tornado, of course. You could have multiple variants of this, being the blue version of the Tornado or the red version of the Tornado. You could even do the X Tornado. You could do so many different things with this vehicle, but honestly, I'm going to play it safe and say that he would have the Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing car, just because it makes so much sense. And for a glider, a lot of you guys are probably going to hate me for saying this, but I believe it would be a classic Sonic icon. Yes, that's right. You can't escape the nostalgia with Sega. But when you think about it, doesn't it really make the most sense? I mean, you're trying to promote Sonic here. So, what other thing, other than maybe a tornado glider, would you do except for a classic Sonic icon? And honestly, it would look cool, and the gliders, they're not really used that much, so it doesn't really take away from anything. It's just there, and I just wanted to mention it. Track-wise, though, there are a lot of places for Sonic that you could do track-wise. This is made a lot easier by one huge, giant factor. Actually, two. Unlike a lot of the other games, Kirby and Metroid, Sonic has a lot of 3D adventures, which makes me just go, whew. But not only that, he's already got tracks. If you really wanted to, you could just team up with Sonic. You're already doing it. Port Seaside Hill as a track. Boom. There you go. Port Final Fortress as a track. Boom. There you go. It's simple. But if you want to call out to more fans of Sonic, or, as I'm saying, promoting the Mario and Sonic Olympics, this is going to sound crazy, but maybe the best track for that would be Excite Bike. Now, hear me out here. Olympics, you got the 100-meter dash, you got that whole dirt ring that you got to run around. Excite Bike is basically the same thing. While it's not my favorite track, I feel like it would make a lot of sense if you're trying to do something Olympic-wise. More so, Sonic-wise, though, I'd say something like Escape from the City, making that into a track, or just any Sonic course being made into a track. They do Green Hill Zone. Let's be honest here. They do Green Hill Zone. Sorry, that slipped out. But yeah, it would be pretty cool to have Sonic in. And what do I think his special would be? Well, one of two things. And they're very similar, but I feel like a boost could be potential. And it would make a lot of sense for modern Sonic gameplay. Now, it would generally basically be just a mushroom, but at the same time, you've got triple mushrooms, you've got dash rings, you've got mushroom cannon. So what's adding one more speed thing? However, there's one big difference. You'd add a wind box in front of Sonic's car, and then if he boosts straight through an opponent, they'd get wiped out. Boom. Simple. Done. Now, another way you could do this is just having Sonic have a spin dash, getting rid of his car, just having a giant blue ball that's rolling, and you could just have him going all over the place. You know, you control him. Maybe he's a little bit faster because he is spin dashing, just a little harder to control, but crash into somebody, it's going to be devastating. Or you could have it be something like Sonic jumping out of his car and doing a homing attack. Whatever you want to do, there's a lot of potential for that. Okay, guys, before we get into the final character that I think could be gotten in, I want to do one quick honorable mention. Because the factor is, the stars, they're aligning. We're going to go back to Nintendo for just a quick second here. And I think that the Spotlight, yes, the straight up Spotlight, confirmed to be in alongside King Boo, is going to be EGAD. Here's why this makes so much sense. Luigi's not in, King Boo's not in, Baby Luigi's not in. We have, on Halloween Day, Luigi's Mansion 3 coming out. They've set it up to where the Tokyo Tour is going to end right at that week, just before Halloween. They took out that kitchen knife, they sliced it perfectly. And this goes why I'm saying for Metroid or those others, why we could get a game tie-in character, because it makes so much sense. You've got Luigi's Mansion track and all those characters, but who would be the Spotlight? Luigi's definitely not going to be Spotlight. I'm sorry to say it, it's going to be about Luigi's Mansion, We're probably going to get King Boo in a spotlight, but there's always two. And yes, there's usually costumes and stuff, but who's to say that Egad could not be one of those characters? Heck, you've got a perfect car for this. The Poltergust car from Mario Kart DS. Boom. There you go. Perfect. You want a glider? Make a Boo glider. You got so many different things. And just like I said for Kirby, you could either do something similar for that for EGAD Special. You could do some kind of technological thing. And something like Kirby's, I mean, with like the Poltergust. Or you can just give him a Boo. Simple, sweet, short, to the point. And it just makes so much sense. Please, Nintendo, just give us EGAD inside of Mario Kart. I want to play as EGAD. I know, that sounds crazy, because it's EGAD. But why has he not been in Mario Kart yet? Or better yet, add Polterpup. Add Polterpup! Do it! Do it, you cowards! Okay, now lastly, we're gonna go to something that seems a little oddball, but actually really isn't. It's just a ball or spear. That would be Pac-Man. Now, out of all of these characters being not Nintendo, even some of the Nintendo, I feel like Pac-Man has a better shot. Now, yes, the Mario Kart arcade games were made by Namco. I get that, but that being said, Pac-Man being in multiple ones of those, and the fact that this is a mobile game, not only that, but Namco and Nintendo having such a good relationship that Nintendo's just like, yeah, you can develop Smash Brothers. I feel like there is so much potential and so much reason why Pac-Man should be in as a guest character. And heck, it would bring so much promotion towards the game, and who wouldn't dish out their wallets for freaking Pac-Man? Everyone knows Pac-Man. I would pay $20 to straight up get Pac-Man guaranteed as a character. You know how many other people would do that? And while yes, there are a lot of characters on this list and other lists that people would do that for, Pac-Man, definitely. You've already got possible carts. Heck, you can add the ghosts in there as playable characters if you really wanted to. And not only that, you already have Pac-Man-esque tracks from Mario Kart GP. Just port it over. Or better yet, go nostalgic and make a maze-type level. Again, be really cool, and they did it in Pac-Man World Rally. So, you got the base to be able to do it, so why not? Now, for his glider, probably just like a classic Ghost, one of the classic Ghosts, or classic Pac-Man, one of those two. The design, I'm definitely saying from regular Pac-Man. Sorry, Ghostly Adventure fans. Pac-Man World Pac-Man, that's who people are going to dish their money out for. That's what's going to sell. That's what's going to get people excited. Even though I don't completely hate Ghostly Adventures, I feel like just would work. Sorry that I keep doing this a lot. I don't know why. Apparently I'm just trying to make gifs of myself. Now, for the last thing, Pac-Man's Special. Yeah. So, what do I think Pac-Man's Special will be? Well, this was a bit of a tricky one, but what I came up with was having the ghosts. Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and yes, the rhyming Clyde. Still don't know why they did that. But, what they could do, have the classic ghosts be there, Pac-Man throws them out, and instead of acting like a green shell or a red shell where it bounces off the walls or homes in, what if all of them just started going in zigzag patterns, and if it just so happened to hit somebody in front of you, then guess what? It's going to attach to them and act like blooper ink, which goes all over the screen and distracts you, makes sure that you can't see. And you might be like, really? You want Pac-Man Special to be a glorified blooper? But hear me out here. If a driver gets hit by multiple ghosts, then multiple ghosts will be on their screen. If it's just one ghost, then it'll be one ghost. If it's all four ghosts, then yes, all four ghosts. But here's the kicker. Instead of having to smear it off with your finger, you'd have to do a little bit of something different. You'd have to find the power pellet on the screen, and maybe the power pellet's moving all around the screen so that you have to actually try to actively go for it. Or maybe not. Maybe it's just in a random part of the screen. You tap it, and the ghosts, as they're moving around, they start going blue. Go a little faster. If it's one ghost, simple. You just got to hit the one ghost, get rid of it. You see the eyeballs, they go away. If it's multiple, you got to try to get all of them before a certain time runs out. And if you can't do it and your power pellet runs out, or if the time just in general runs out, then the ghosts spook you and you spin. So this is a blooper that essentially can hurt you, but it's at least forgiving in the fact that you can try to get rid of it, but maybe you're just like, you know what? I'll take the hit. But I feel like it could be a really good special and super obnoxious. If you guys have any better ideas for these characters, specials, gliders, karts, let me know down below. Let's keep this speculation going. I'm sure I'll do more of this. And if you have any track ideas for any of this, feel free to let me know as well. As well as other characters that you might put in speculation. So this was pretty fun. If you guys want to see me do these speculations a little bit more, hopefully I'll organize it better. But the tracks and gliders was last minute, and for some reason, I didn't realize how many of them I didn't really give a good thought about, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Feel free to speculate, and I'll see you guys later. Keep safe.